can barely hear it. I've got the volume up as loud as it'll go. Makes me sad. Got your tea? I have mine, and it's hot. Get in here. Please share our videos. I guess it's just going to be background music. Get on in here. Sister Dina is headed home from Duke. She had a lot of things done today, including a mammogram. Have you scheduled yours? We won't know anything for another few days, like 5 days, 6 days. Starts on Monday, they count, because nobody works on the weekend except me and Leanne. So come on in here. It's time to take a break. Relax a little. I've been crying my eyes out. I've been watching a YouTube video from down in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's still going right now on RSBN network. If you hadn't watched them, try it. They do lots of important things. And they're just a little old company. So get on in here. We'll keep this short. I got to see Dr. Ben Carson. I love that man. I've met him one time. And it's a funny story. I'll tell you about it. Come on in here. Okay, we got 200 people in here. I think I'll stop the song because it's just background music at this point. Anyway, so I was going to tell you my little story about Dr. Carson. We were at a homeschooling convention, Michelle and I, Liz's mother-in-law. We were at a homeschooling convention in Cincinnati, I believe it was. And this was like 2014 or so, I think it was. And we, Dr. Carson was a keynote speaker at the big event. And Michelle's brother and sister-in-law used to work for Dr. Carson. And Michelle said, we gotta go watch his speech because, you know, he's thinking about running for president. And he had written a book, and he gave us all a copy of his book. I've still got it somewhere. But this is a godly man, an amazing surgeon he's a neurosurgeon, and he separated conjoined twins, conjoined at the head. And Michelle's family worked with him. In fact, their firstborn child, they named after him. Their firstborn child is named Ben. And so we waited at the very end of the line so Michelle could talk to Dr. Carson because we didn't want to be rushed through. And so we were the last ones in line, and we stood there for hours. I'm telling you, we stood there for hours. And we got to the end of the line, and she shows Dr. Carson a picture on her phone of her brother and her sister-in-law and Dr. Carson holding young Ben as a baby. And he said, the last time I saw Ben, he is taller than I am. And he's a grown man now, but he's like 6'2" or 3, and he's a big boy. And so we got to reminisce about their time together, and Dr. Carson has done some amazing things for this country. But the one thing that I think is the most amazing thing about his life was his mama. His mama. And he just got through talking about it on this RSBN network live feed. His mama was a godly woman. And he thanked God for her. He thanked God for her. And she believed in education, even though she didn't have one. She knew education was the key to delivering her children from poverty. Education would do it. Yeah. So she would pretend to read books. And she would require the boys, they couldn't watch TV. They had to read books. And the reading of the books gave them an education. And it got them ready to go to high school and learn all they could. And to go to college. And to go to med school. And that mama, even though she couldn't read, she was able to change her babies' lives because she was determined for them to have an education. When nobody else would stand up for her children, she stood up for them. And she taught them the way they should go. So Dr. Carson is a hero of mine. It's a hero of Kathy's at the office. They're from Baltimore, Kathy and Jack. It's a hero of Liz's. Dr. Carson is a friend of people who believe in education. Education can change lives. It really can. So, if you've not read Dr. Carson's story, check out his book. Read it to your children. Read his biography. There's some good ones out there. And follow him. He is our Department of Human Services. He's the head of a department in the Trump administration. And he is doing wonderful things to help people in the inner cities, while other people are trying to tear it down. Oh, that tea tastes good. So, folks, I love to read biographies. Biographies give us the heart and soul of a person. Yeah, you learn a lot about somebody by reading biographies. I just got through reading Sarah Sanders' story. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I just got through reading her story. And it was a wonderful book. I think I might read it again because it was just a lovely book. But you learn a lot reading biographies. I've read biographies from everybody from Andrew Jackson to popes. I've read popes' biographies. The one pope that was the Polish pope, what was his name? John Paul II, I believe, the first Polish pope. Do you know that when he was a little kid, he had to memorize a poem that was about the first Polish pope? You know, I learned from Rita Davenport many years ago that what you think about, you bring about. He had to memorize a poem. And now you can get on YouTube and you can watch videos of people. Like Abby Johnson, who's running for Congress in Minnesota. She's running for Congress. She wrote a book. She wrote a book called Unplanned. And she was head of a Planned Parenthood chapter in Texas. And she had a change of heart. And she wrote this movie. And she wrote this book, and it was turned into a movie. And now she's running for Congress. I watched all her videos on YouTube. Every last one of them. And I learned about who she is. I learned who she was. So I read a book, it gets me interested in them, and then I start digging. Another person I've read a book about was retired Rear Admiral Black. Yeah, his last name's Black. He's a black man. And he is the chaplain of the U.S. Senate. And his mother paid him a nickel for every scripture he memorized. He and his brothers, they would learn scripture, and they would lay on the floor and look at the Bible and memorize the shortest scriptures, the shortest ones. But they also read, this is where I learned about reading the book of Proverbs. You know, today is the 25th day of September. Read chapter 25 in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs has 31 chapters. This is where I learned that. It's a powerful way to study the Bible and to know what God has in store for you and to give you some rules to live by. You know, I told you I got a new mug the other day, Gibbs's Rules. We all kind of need a few rules to live by. I've written my own 11 commandments. They're great tools to live by. But God gave us tools, and they're in our Bible. And reading a chapter of Proverbs every day, and now we have apps that will read it to us. There's pray.com, there's Bible Gateway, there's bible.com. There's lots of ways the Bible can be read to you every single day. And all you got to do is push a button, and you can read along with it. So we got it made easy for us. But training your children, having nightly devotionals with your children, training a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. It's what you put in their heads, their little heads. Some people say that it's brainwashing, but you know, you've got to give a child a foundation. It's up to you to give them a foundation. In Sunday school, we sang a song, and that song was it was about building your house on the sand, building your house on a rock, building your house. You know, it's kind of like the three pigs building their houses. But if you built your house on the sand, what did it do? When the rain and the winds came, it fell down. But when you built your house on a rock, on a good foundation, the house stood. The house stood. Do you know what we're doing? We're building our houses. We're establishing our simple habits, stringing them into simple routines. And those simple routines keep our house standing. They keep our house clean. They keep our house moving right along. And it keeps us from being stressed out. It keeps us from being sad. It keeps us from being beaten down, because we're building our house on a rock. And that rock is finally loving yourself. Finally taking care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, who will? Who will? I can't come to your house and take care of you. No. All I can do is try to get you to get up out of the chair. Establishing one habit at a time. We start with shining your sink, and it goes all the way through to pampering yourself. I mean, shining your sink in January, or when you join, getting dressed to lace up shoes, that's March. Decluttering 15 minutes a day is February. Making your bed is April. May is moving for 15 minutes. June is drinking your water. July is swish and swipe. August is doing a load of laundry each day. September is your before bed routine. October is taking care of your paper clutter and dealing with paper as it comes in. November is menu planning, and December is pampering yourself a little every day. Just a little. Doesn't take much. My one pampering habit that I think has made a huge difference in my fingernails is putting chapstick on my fingers before I go to bed and rubbing it in. It keeps my cuticles soft, and I don't have as many hangnails. And that keeps my fingers from getting infected. I use my fingers every day. You do too. So folks, those habits strung into routines, morning, afternoon, and evening, are going to change your life. Building your house on a foundation of training your children up in the way they should go. And when they're old, they won't depart from it. You can do this. You can do it. So folks, here's to taking care of you. I love you all. Have a good rest of the evening. It's date night. What are you doing for date night? Yeah, what are you doing? Clean out your car day. Clean out your purse. And take some time for you. Tomorrow's Family Fun Day, and Sunday is Renew Your Spirit Day. And I heard a while ago that Florida has totally opened up. Restaurants aren't closed anymore. They're not at 25% capacity. Everything is opened up in Florida. All the restrictions have been lifted. The rest of the world, the rest of the country is going to come around soon. Be thankful. I love you all. See you later.